Hey students, this is lesson 734. Yesterday we learned how to solve systems by substitution. Today we're going to use elimination. There's some places where solving by elimination is a lot quicker, easier way. And I'm going to use this example to show you that. The corner store is having a sale on flip-flops and sunscreen. 2 bottles of sunscreen and 1 pair of flip-flops cost $24, while 4 bottles of sunscreen and 1 pair of flip-flops cost $48. So if I solve that, I'm trying to figure out how much is it for 1 pair of flip-flops and one bottle of sunscreen. So let's write a system of equations that represent this problem. Let's let x be the cost of sunscreen and y be the cost of flip-flops. Then we get this equation: 2x plus y is equal to 24. And that's we're getting 2 bottles of sunscreen and a pair of flip-flops for $24. And 4x plus y, so 4 bottles of sunscreen and 1 pair of flip-flops costs $48. Okay, now elimination works like this. We're going to do something with these 2 sets of equations to eliminate one of the variables so we can find what the other variable equals. And think about this for a second. Let's say I have x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 1. It would also be true that x minus y, so I'm just subtracting these two, is equal to 4 minus 1, which is 3. That's also true. I could also add those together. X plus y is equal to 4 plus 1, which is 5. So I can just combine the 2 equations into one equation. And what I would want to do is combine 2 equations into one equation, so I would eliminate a variable, hence the name elimination. So what I have here, I have y in both of these equations. So think what would happen if I subtracted this equation and this equation. 4x minus 2x is 2x. Y minus y is 0y, which is just 0. And 48 minus 24 is 24. So now all I have to do is divide 24 by 2, and I get x is equal to 12. So I've just found out that 1 bottle of sunscreen is $12. And once I know that, then I can use one of the equations to find out what y would be. So I know that 2 bottles of sunscreen plus 1 pair of flip-flops is $24. And I now know that sunscreen is $12. So I just have to figure out what I would have to add to that to get 24. And 2 times 12 is 24. So y is 0. In other words, if you buy for every 2 bottles of sunscreen you buy, you get a free pair of flip-flops here at this deal. Anyway, so that's the idea. We're going to use that. And it's a very powerful method, especially when equations are written in standard form. So let's try one here. Here's another example. Actually, I'm going to come back to this example and do one more. Let's go to our homework page. All right, so think about these first 2 equations here. One thing you might notice about them is that we have negative 4x and 4x. So think about what would happen if I would add those together. If I added those together, I would get 0x plus 6y, because negative 2 plus 8 is 6, and negative 12 plus negative 24 is negative 36. Well, 0x is just 0, so x is eliminated, and I now just have 6y is equal to negative 36. Divide both sides by 6, and I get y is equal to negative 6. Once you know that y is equal to negative 6, then you can use it in one of these equations, and I like the one that has positive 4 and positive 8. To find the other variable. So we know y is negative 6, so we're going to put that right where the y is. Put 8 times negative 6. And let's move this over. And so now we have 4x plus negative 48 is equal to negative 24. Then we can just add 48 to both sides. And we get 4x is equal to 24. X is equal to 6. And so now we know x is equal to 6 and y is equal to negative 6. So we just want to check to make sure that works in the other equation. So x is equal to 6. Y is equal to negative 6. And we hope that equals 12. And we get negative 24 plus 12 is equal to negative 12. And that's true. So we're good there. All right, we're going to do one more. Let's do number, actually we'll go back now and do that other example that's written up nice right here. So we have 7x minus 4y and 3x minus 2y. And right now it doesn't look like there's anything we could eliminate if we added these together. Like if we added 7 plus 3, we would get 10. If we add negative 4, negative 2, we get negative 6. We can't subtract them to eliminate a variable. There's no use in adding them or subtracting them if you can't eliminate anything. What I'm thinking is, if I just multiply this number here by 2, then it's the same as the number right there. If I multiply by negative 2, then it's the opposite, and I like that the best because then you can add the two equations together. So what I'm thinking is we're going to multiply everything on the bottom by negative 2. So you can see we did that here. So we have negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Then we have negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4y. And we have negative 2 times 40 is negative 80. Now we're going to add the two equations, and then we get 7x minus 6x is 1x. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0y. And 100 plus negative 80 is 20. And we're going to solve for x20 divided by negative 21 is 20. Okay, and then we're going to substitute that 20 in for x in the one of the two equations. We'll pick the first one. So we're going to do 7 times 20 minus 4y. That's 140 minus 4y. And so then we're going to subtract 140 from both sides. And we get negative 4y equals negative 40. And we're going to divide negative 40 by negative 4, and that gives us 10. Then the last step is to check to see that that works in the other equation. So x we found is 20, substitute that for x. Y is 10, substitute that for y. And then just see if that's true or not. 3 times 20 is 60, 2 times 10 is 20, and 16 minus 20 is 40. That is true. So that means we must have the right solution. So x is 20, and y is 10. All right, we can do one more problem. Let's so here we have a system. We can solve this one simply by adding the equations. And I'm going to let you do that one. And then in these equations, we can do that one, class. Let's try number 3 here. Right there. What would we multiply the top equation by to get something that we can eliminate it? And I hope you're thinking 2. So multiply everything on the top by 2, and when I do that, I get 2x minus 2y equals 22. And the bottom equation is just x plus 2y. 2x plus y is equal to 19. And then I can subtract 2x from 2x, and that is 0x. So I don't even need to write that. And then in the bottom equation, I'm going to do negative 2 minus 1y, and negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3y. And 22 minus 19 is 3. And then I'm just going to divide 3 by -3, and I get y equals -1. And that's the idea. Now I can just use either equation to find that. I think I'll use the first one. So x minus y is equal to 11. And y is -1, so I can do x minus -1, which is the same as x plus 1. So I have to do 11 minus 1, which is 10. Then I'll just check that in the bottom equation. I'm going to substitute 10 for x, so I'm going to do 2 times 10, and -1 for y, and see if that equals 19. 2 times 10 is 20, plus -1 is 19, so that works. All right. One thing that I didn't quite notice that you might notice about this equation that we just solved is I didn't really need to multiply the top equation by 2. Since I have the opposite of y here and y there, I could just add the two together, and I get 3x. Minus y plus y is 0, and 11 plus 19 is 30, and 30 divided by 3 is 10. That might have been a quicker way. So that's it for the video. I'll see you tomorrow.